So let's continue from where we left off in the previous video of my Learn Next.js course walkthrough. In this video, I'm walking through Chapter 2 CSS styling. Currently, your homepage doesn't have any styles. Let's look at the different ways you can style your Next.js application. So yeah, we've got such a homepage with no styling yet. I believe after this chapter it will look much better. This chapter, here are the topics we will cover. How to add a global CSS file to your application, 2 different ways of styling Tailwind and CSS modules, how to conditionally add class names with the CSS utility package. Global styles. If you look inside the app UI folder, you will see a file called global CSS. You can use this file to add CSS rules to all the routes in your application, such as CSS reset rules, site-wide styles for HTML elements like links, and more. Okay, so let's check this global CSS file. App UI and what? So it says I can import this file. Okay, so we don't have it yet. Add global styles to your application by navigating to app layout tsx and import the global CSS file. App UI global CSS. No, we should have this file. We do have. Okay, so we have Tailwind imports here and some styling for inputs of type number. So again, what we should do, we are importing global CSS to our layout tsx file. Okay, let's import this and save. Okay, we have some styles applied. With the development server still running, save your changes and preview them in the browser. Your homepage should now look like this. Yes, it does. But wait a second, you didn't add any CSS rules. Where did the styles come from? If you take a look inside the global CSS, you will notice some Tailwind directives. Yes, so we've seen them right in the global CSS and Tailwind directives. Tailwind is a CSS framework that speeds up the development process by allowing you to quickly write utility classes directly in your JSX markup. In Tailwind, you style elements by adding class names. For example, adding the class text blue 500 will turn the h1 text blue. So yeah, that's basically how Tailwind works. You just apply some classes pre-created in the Tailwind. Although the CSS styles are shared globally, each class is singularly applied to each element. This means if you add or delete an element, you don't have to worry about maintaining separate style sheets, style collisions, or the size of your CSS bundle growing as your application scales. When you use Create Next app to start a new project, Next.js will ask you if you want to use Tailwind. If you select yes, Next.js will automatically install the necessary packages and configure Tailwind in your application. Alright, if you look at app page tsx, you will see that we are using Tailwind classes in the example. Okay, let's open this file and see app page tsx. Okay, so yeah, we do have Tailwind classes already here, some of them. Don't worry if this is your first time using Tailwind. To save time, we have already styled all the components you will be using. Let's play with Tailwind. Copy the code below and paste it above the p tag element in app page tsx. Okay, so we are asked to paste this div. Let's see. Above the p element. I think we have just one p element. Okay, let's paste it in. Okay, we've got a small triangle, like similar to Vercel logo. Okay, it's time to take a quiz. What shape do you see when using the code snippet above? Yellow star, blue triangle, black triangle. Correct. If you prefer writing traditional CSS rules or keeping your styles separate from your JSX, CSS modules are a great alternative. CSS modules allow you to scope CSS to a component by automatically creating unique class names, so you don't have to worry about style collisions as well. We will continue using Tailwind in this course, but let's take a moment to see how you can achieve the same results from the quiz above using CSS modules. Inside app UI, create a new file called home module CSS and add the following CSS rules. Okay, let's create the file in this UI directory, and we will need the styles shown here. Let's paste them in. So we have a shape class. Then inside your app page tsx file, import the styles and replace the Tailwind class names from the div you've added with styles shape. Okay, so we need to import our styles and replace the Tailwind class names. Styles shape. Okay. Let's import the styles and let's remove our Tailwind class names, so we would have no triangle anymore. Let's open JavaScript mode and use our shape class, styles.shape. Okay, so we are using our home module this way. Save your changes and preview them in the browser. You should see the same shape as before. Tailwind and CSS modules are the two most common ways of styling Next.js applications. Whether you see one or the other is a matter of preference. Whether you use one or the other is a matter of preference. You can even use both in the same application. It's time to take a quiz, test your knowledge and see what you have just learned. What is one benefit of using CSS modules? Increase the global scope of CSS classes, making them easier to manage across different files. Provide a way to make CSS classes locally scoped to components by default, enabling better modularity and reducing the risk of styling conflicts. Automatically compress and minify CSS files for faster page loading. Okay, let's choose the B option. Correct. Provide a way to make CSS classes locally scoped to components by default, enabling better modularity and reducing the risk of styling conflicts. Okay, using CLSX library to toggle class names. There may be cases where you may need to conditionally style an element based on state or some other condition. CLSX is a library that lets you toggle class names easily. We recommend taking a look at documentation for more details. But here is the basic usage. Suppose that you want to create an invoice status component which accepts status. The status can be pending or paid. If it's paid, you want the color to be green. If it's pending, you want the color to be gray. You can use CLSX to conditionally apply the classes like this. Okay, so we use CLSX function, some default class names, and then we pass an object and some conditional class. So if the status is pending, such classes will be applied. If status is paid equals to paid, we will have the other classes applied to the component. It's time to take a quiz. Search for CLSX in your code editor. What components use it to conditionally apply class names? Okay, let's search CLSX. What components? Status, pagination, breadcrumbs, latest invoice, button, lots of them. What components use it to conditionally apply class names? As minimum, status and pagination. Okay, other styling solutions. In addition to the approaches we have discussed, you can also style your Next.js application with Sass, which allows you to import CSS and SCSS files, CSS in JS libraries such as styled JSX, styled components, emotion. Take a look at the CSS documentation for more information. Yay! You've completed chapter 2. Well done. You've learned about the different ways of styling and Next.js application. So to sum up, we can style our Next.js application using, so we have of course global styles. We can use Tailwind CSS framework, CSS modules. So those are two main approaches for styling Next.js application. And other styling solutions like styled components, for example. You've completed chapter 2. So the next one we will continue walking through in the next video, called Optimizing Fonts and Images. Continue working on your homepage by adding a hero image and a custom font. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video.